So, hello, everybody. I'm Sarah Seidelman, and I'm here with author Inger Kenobi, the author of How Do I Look the Year I Stopped Shopping, which is a fabulous book if you are interested in kind of transforming your relationship with clothing and the things you buy.
Yes.
And Inger, the reason we met is she posted online that she had just planned or was about to embark on a month-long writing retreat with a friend and colleague. And I was like, what? I want to know more about this. So we're creating this. I wanted to interview Inger to find out how she created this month-long writing retreat for herself in case you are interested in doing something like this for yourself, or maybe it's a month-long painting retreat you want to do, or sculpting or knitting, or I don't know, whatever it is you want to do for a month. So Inger, hello, and tell us more about, like, how did this come to be? How did you pick who to do it with, where to do it? Tell us all the things.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to remember the very, very beginning, but I have a friend who I know from the States, my friend Allie, and she was starting to write, and I already written a book, and I was working on a second one, and we kept like, oh, it'd be fun to do a writing retreat together, and just kind of like threw that out there into the universe, and then we're like, oh, are we serious about this? Maybe we should. And then this was during lots of different COVID restrictions, and it kept happening, like they kept shifting like all the time, and it got a little bit stressful figuring out where to go and all of that. But that's how we ended up in Canada, though, just to end up like she's from the States, I'm from England. So we met in Nova Scotia, where we rented a Airbnb for a month.
Okay.
And that's kind of like, yeah, so we started there, like for how long, where, and then like the other pieces came into place once like the bigger questions had been answered.
And did you guys, I mean, I'm always curious about this, like, did you talk about your schedule, or did you already know you were compatible, like in a writing
Yeah,
situation?
I think that's super important. Like I know her from like when I used to live at a Tibetan Buddhist center. She lived at a kind of a sister center, and she had done, both of us have done like both group retreats and personal meditation retreats before. So we knew what we each other meant by retreat. So it wouldn't be like, so we had like a common understanding already. But if you don't have it, you can just talk about like, hey, what is your schedule like? What do you prefer to do? And what do you want? So we did still talk about it, we had this like common understanding, and not like, what, we're not having lunch together every day, like we did talk about how we wanted to set it up. And the way we set it up is that, well, we're both morning people, so we
Okay.
got up crazy morning early, and then we just like did our own thing. We didn't even have lunch together. We just did our own thing up until like four o'clock, then sunset. And then we would meet and have dinner, and we'd have drinks, and we'd talk about our writing. We watched shows, we went on walks. So we were just like very like, like little writing machines, little robots or monks or nuns in our own little rooms, ships passing in the night during the day, just like hi and hello, and just did our own thing. Didn't have to, like, I went on running by myself. She went running by herself. I made coffee for myself. I didn't shout, hey, do you want a cup of tea? Like we just really respected each other's schedule. So then when we did come together in the evening, we really could come together and be crazy social.
Fun. Oh my gosh, it sounds so good. Talk about, like, I know for myself, when I've gone on solo retreats, you like, there can be moments that are easier and then moments that are harder. And like, how, when you're committing to a month, it's like there's got to be some rough days in there. And like, how did you deal with that? And also, it's probably some glorious days where things come together.
Well, I think because we weren't being like, well, we have a month, so we have to write 24/7. I think because we ended at 4 and could play basically in the evening and giggle and have fun. I made bonfires in the garden, and she had brought my like favorite wine with her, like I think because we like had fun and played along the way, it didn't feel like, oh my God, I can't keep going. So there wasn't really a dip or a I can't do this anymore or horrible days. There wasn't any of that. If anything, the days went too quickly, and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe we're halfway yet. Because I think we knew our strengths and weaknesses. And I knew that when I tried to be too strict, right until 9, 10, 11, 12 at night, like burn the midnight oil, I would get exhausted. I can't do it. I need to have, for that long a stretch, it's nice to have a good balance of work. And then when we did sit down to work, it was crazy focused work, because I didn't go, oh, I'll just finish it up after dinner. We didn't have that as an option. So there wasn't really any crazy lows. There was just a lot of fun.
I was gonna say probably that's where mine have been so low, because it was just the times I've gone away on a retreat, it's like usually for a weekend, and I'm like, I have an objective, like I want to get the structure of the book fixed or whatever. And so then it was just me, myself, and then I would go to dinner alone, which was like for me not super fun, even though if I was staying at it, in a nice little resort town or somewhere. But so maybe that's my own supposition. What?
No, but I will say that there was a point, like in terms of just the writing, like you think a month is a long time and you have all day to write, but there was like, I will never finish. This is crap. Why am I even doing this? I'm the worst writer. So all these things came up, of course. And then we do the fun things that we don't care. We just keep going. So.
Right. Like I can see that. And like, even though you think a month sounds like an eternity, like you should be able to, like some people write a book in a month. I mean, I know people have written books in a month, but I know for myself that might be pretty hard depending on the scope of the book. So if that makes sense, there might be this, extraordinary pressure to get more done in the 8 hours you work than,
You taken this precious time off, better use it well, but when I get too strict with that, and this is why we decided, no, end at sunset, like we're good.
Sense. So awesome. I love it. I think it's a wonderful model. And for those of you who have the time and the space, it's like, and maybe you wouldn't even have to rent an Airbnb. Maybe somebody who's got a cabin somewhere that you could borrow. It could be so wonderful.
That is absolutely a thing. I mean, I'm from Norway originally, like born and raised in Norway, and everyone there has like a cabin in the mountains or by the sea. Like, so if I'd lived in Norway, there would have been so many different people I could have asked, hey, maybe not for a month, but I could definitely have asked, hey, can I borrow your cabin for the weekend or for 10 days? And so it doesn't have to be a month. That's another thing. I mean, we were kind of in the fortunate position of like, she had just quit her job. Neither of us have kids. I kind of had to put pause on my coaching practice. But then when I went away and did nothing, I got a billion more clients. So there's that, like there was kind of like a reverse effect. But I think there's something to be said, though, just for however short or long time, just to have that focus and give yourself the gift of time to actually do it and carve out the space. Because I think now when I'm back and I'm still working on the book still, like all these months later, it's like, but I take it more seriously, and I take me more seriously. Like I've invested a lot in this, and I feel like the book became happier because like, yay, you're paying attention to me.
Yeah. And there's something about that unfragmented time when you just get solid chunks and you're really immersed in the project and you really know where you want it to go and you get a bigger sense for it. Whereas when you're kind of picking away at it and then life is intervening, it's challenging. It can be.
And also, of course, we'll be away in a house, none of us are attached to like our laundry routine or the cleaning it because we're having visitors or cooking a certain way, like all of those like autopilot-y, habity, routine stuff out the window, which also makes it for me at least easier to just like focus on the thing I'm there to focus on.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being willing to talk about this. And I'm imagining that many of you who listens are going to create your own writing retreat, which is so awesome. So thanks, Inger.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye.
Bye.